So apparently you went on an artist date and you're excited to tell me about this, and I'm excited to hear about it.
I think you're really overselling it, but I will certainly tell you about it. I Last week was pretty on you for needing to relax and unplug a little bit and not expect yourself to be super productive. And then I immediately took the opposite of my own advice and just went as hard as I possibly could for an entire week of morning to night with relatively short sleep, complete all out working and working and working on all these different things. And I got to the point where I was at this co-working space that I go to every week. And in the morning, I show up, everybody's kind of in line to get coffee. There's this big coffee machine that does on-demand coffee. And so I go grab the cup and I put it there. And I'm just waiting for the coffee. And this guy kind of interrupts my mental drifting state. It says, "Hey, is that your coffee there?" And I look over and realize that the cup is just sitting there. I had never started the coffee. It was just under the machine. And I'm just sitting there staring at it, not recognizing anything in my environment. I have no idea how long I was there or how long it took this guy to, ask me what the hell I'm doing. I'm like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." And it just was a little moment of, man, I'm really out of it. My brain is pretty cooked. So anyway, today, Sam left for this class thing. I was at home. I'd already committed to just no phone, no tech stuff today. I just wanted to read and relax and really unplug. And so I have my e-reader and I pull it out to start reading this book, and I realize that something is wrong. And I'm reading on the e-reader app that I'm working on. And so I'm like, I'm just gonna fix this one little thing. So I go over to the PC, plug it in, bring up the debugger, and start writing code. And then half hour goes by. I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm just right back to working. So I just figured I have to leave. I can't function. I'm having, I wouldn't say blackouts, but like moments of complete detachment from executive function controlling what my mind and body are doing. I'm just autopiloting into all of this stuff. So it's like, forget it. I grab my little journal thingy, stuck my credit card and ID in here, and then just left the house with just this. So all I had was money to get around, an ID, and in case somebody finds my body, and a notebook to write in, and it worked. I feel so much better.
Good. Did you actually? I don't even know if I have any big questions about it because it's just a really simple thing that kind
Right.
of works wonders. It's not complicated.
No, in fact, it's
You're,
stupid. It's almost too dumb and simple to be a thing that anybody does because it's just not weird enough. It's not mimetic enough.
yeah, it's not interesting enough. It
Right.
doesn't. You don't feel super cool. Yeah, it's just really simple. Your explanation of loss of uh, what'd you say? Mind function or motor
Executive
function,
function.
executive
Yeah.
function, where you just find yourself working again. Like you
Hmm.
try to stop, and then before you know it, you're just working again.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
Yeah.
I've been doing. I will, yeah, I'll lock away my external hard drive, which has all my extra footage on it and stuff that I edit
Hmm.
videos with. And 2 days later, when I'm supposed to be taking a whole week off, I'll just find myself plugging it in and be like, no, 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 I'm just checking this one thing that doesn't count and it's
Right.
okay. And then before I know it, I'm making another video and it's what the hell am I
Yeah.
doing? I'm
Yeah.
supposed to be drawing this week. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny in the moment when I'm on my e-reader and I'm like, oh, there's a bug. I have to fix this. It'll just take a second. Looking back, it's ridiculous because one, obviously, it never just takes a second, but also, even at the time, the bug I was seeing was the ebook not being correctly in sync with the audiobook. but this is on my e-reader that doesn't have a speaker or any way of listening to anything. So it absolutely did not matter for what I was supposed to be doing, which was just relaxing and reading. It was purely this mental thing of me thinking I have to fix this, but I didn't. I could have happily read, can't even use the audiobook feature, but it still was enough to kind of convince my lizard brain, or my lizard brain convinced my executive function, whatever, that it was okay to go plug into the computer. And sure enough. One kind of interesting note, I so the actual artist date was super dumb. I went to IKEA and Old Navy, which sounds stupid, but mostly it was about riding public transit for an hour and a half. So it was mostly just me cruising around on the light rail, which was nice. But I had this feeling. I get on the bus, I go up to the transfer thing, get on the light rail, and start heading out towards IKEA. And I can feel these little pangs of almost anxiety or just this discomfort with not having anything near me. I start to worry, thinking, oh, what if I forgot to turn the stove off? Not that I've turned the stove on in like a week plus, but random kind of intrusive thoughts and thinking, oh, this is a mistake. I shouldn't be out here. Or, oh, there's some really important thing that I need to know right now. But what was kind of cool is that feeling these cravings sort of was actually satisfying in a weird way, because there's a part of me that's thinking, oh, yeah, this is the mental state I'm in and I'm fixing it. Letting these things hit me and subside, feeling the waves kind of crest and pass, was had this weird satisfaction to it, and just recognizing that, oh, I have internet junkie brain right now, or
Yeah.
way too focused needing stimulation brain right now. And so pushing through it is going to make me feel better than it did. So it was really nice.
Well, I've been, doing what you said, which was to relax and not do stuff and just chill and all of those things. So I've been it really for I think 2 weeks now. I've been trying to just
Yeah.
relax and take it easy and not do anything crazy. And this week, I've managed to try to relax. I've been very busy. I've had all kinds of different things I have to go to and work stuff and all of that. But on my own time, I've been generally pretty relaxed, trying to detox from it's more than social media,
Yep.
but trying to detox from the mindset of, go, go, go and edit this video and plan this thing and just obsess about all this stuff. I'm trying to detox from that fast-paced environment
Right.
and just get back to the slow artist world. And, in my last video that came out, I think 2 weeks ago, you can see me drawing a lot. But the truth is that I haven't really been drawing for about 2 months. Like, it's been a long time since I've been in that drawing brain environment or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't know, arguably even longer. But so I'm really struggling to get back into it. I mean, I think I've made some progress, but it's interesting and has been quite a bit more painful than I thought it would be. It hasn't just been a matter of I need to draw for a few days and then I'll be back into it. It's been this I'm like I've managed to get rid of a lot of the apps I would waste time on, and
Hmm.
that would kind of, trigger that part of my brain. Like I would spend a very large amount of time watching other people's YouTube videos and learning from them. And I think that's all good stuff, but it still puts me in that mind state. So over the last week or so, I've been deleting all of those apps, doing the whole phone trick where I have it sitting in a cabinet uh, for most of the day and just trying to clean up my life. And it has been excruciatingly painful. I'm bored and kind of angry, sort of depressed, sort of just a little
Yeah.
bit miserable, struggling to feel inspired. I'm, just a lot of the cliche things that I complain about on here often. But I think it's a good sign that things are happening. I think it's a withdraw type of feeling where I'm just letting go of these things, and I can feel some of the life start to return. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know, you weed out the soil or whatever. It's just dirt, and then it takes a little while, and then things start to grow again. And I think that's what's happening. But
I hope so. I think so. That is how I felt today, although to a much lesser degree. I don't think I didn't get nearly as far into the red zone as you do, or as you did. But even so, I went very hard this week. I haven't even really been on the internet, Reddit and YouTube and things like that all that much. Some for sure, but nothing awful. But it was more just the accumulation of everything where even though I'm working and focused, it's just going super hard and thinking about everything and trying to go fast and all of
yeah,
that. So, same thing. But even so, having to go through a little bit of that detox period where I had this kind of wave of anxiety where I I decided to go do this, like just get out of the house, spend 3 or 4 hours somewhere else. I wound up also at Barnes and Noble and sitting there drinking coffee and writing and everything and stuff like that. But I walk out the door, kind of decided to, and then I just get this feeling of lethargy and like, why even bother? This isn't gonna help anything. I feel bad. What's the point? Just that kind of thing.
mhm,
And I think it was just, you said you're kind of opening things up and the feelings flood in and you're having to face a little bit of reality just in like, oh, I'm conscious and paying attention to myself and my life instead of constant distraction with something else. And it is not comfortable. It really can be a pretty unpleasant experience, but it went away and I ended up feeling really good.
well, this might be a slightly different topic, but it weaves itself into the same thing. When when I uploaded that first video and we did an episode on it, and I was all depressed about it because nobody was watching it. Part of the depression, the feeling that I was having was this disappointment and uh, this overall bad feeling about the state of the world. Not just politics and all of that stuff, but the state of the art world. I
Yeah.
felt like it was dead and over, and it sucked now. I mean, the video was doing bad, which meant art doesn't matter anymore and nobody cares anymore, and the state of the world is terrible.
Yeah.
Seems funny now, but I, that's where my head was going, is sort of blaming the world for it not working. And then it started doing well, and
Sorry,
I'm trying to
I know.
focus, but your
We
lights are
have
going.
I know. We just happened to cross the 5 p.m. mark when the lights changed. Sorry. Go ahead. You're very serious thing you're
Okay,
talking about here.
yeah, the state of the world. So as soon as the video started doing well and I started feeling good about that, all of those thoughts disappeared. And I started feeling very positive about the future in art. I know it seems silly, but I took note of that.
Yeah.
And th- just the fact that it was so easily gone as soon as it started doing well. And well, I thought that was very strange. And right now, when I'm having a hard time getting back into art, like just a hard time feeling like I'm any good, or I go to draw, I feel like I've lost a lot of progress, I'm rusty, I'm whatever, I'm struggling to get motivated and everything. My thoughts once again are going towards, God, the world sucks now. Everything just sucks. There's no point in learning to draw anymore. There's no point in this or that or whatever. And it it's just funny that my thoughts and my feelings are going to this worldwide scale because I'm
Hmm.
struggling to draw for a week or two. And some of it might be legitimate. But I don't even know what that means anymore. It's not like I'm the only one feeling this way. But for you to walk out of Barnes Noble and think, "Oh, what's the point? This isn't gonna help anything. I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
right back to where I was." You have to I mean, in the light of me and my feelings, you might think, "Okay, well, it's just you. It's just Daniel being dramatic." But at the same time, it's like how much of that is legitimate? You walking out of a store, and even if you feel good for, an hour or something, you have this overwhelming feeling of, "Oh, no, this doesn't matter. I'll be right back to the bad place again
Yeah.
within a couple hours." Or, by tomorrow, it'll be bad again.
Yeah.
And I'm currently struggling with the, "Wait a minute, how much is in my head and how much is real?" And, you know?
It's funny you bring that up because I do have some thoughts on that. That actually is a major thing that I wound up thinking about and reflecting on today during that 4 hour stretch. So I went to Old Navy because I needed to buy some shorts, and I tend to really like Old Navy. And the store was half empty. Everything was picked over. There were piles of clothes everywhere of just being discarded and mounded together. And a lot of the signs that were put up, normally they have all this kind of marketing stuff and 25% off the summer super sale, blah blah blah, all this stuff, which I is a weird thing to feel fondness for, but it was just empty. All the marketing stuff is missing, and there's just a little 10% off sign or whatever. And the you really got the feeling it's been this way for a while, but even more so now, you got the feeling that this store is mostly just a front for trying to sell people credit cards. I think the actual money that they make when they sign you up for a credit card is usually more than they get from people shopping there. So there's just credit card stuff everywhere. The cashier, like, "Oh, you want to sign up for a credit card, blah, 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 special thing, you'll get this and that." Just the whole spiel. And you're like, this kind of sucks. This feels bad. And I go, IKEA was fine. No major complaints about IKEA. But I then go to the mall to go to the Barnes and Noble and grab a coffee and everything. And like, it's a mall. Malls are dying. That's not news. And it's kind of silly to talk about that like it's anything new or interesting. But still, the mall is, even since I was there just a few months ago, I can count stores that have died since. And it is just this big echoing emptiness. And I go to the Barnes and Noble, and they do not give the impression that they're doing well either. There's a bunch of empty shelves. Just the general vibe is like I walk up to the coffee shop, and you can tell that they're kind of like, "Oh, okay, all right, what do you want? Whatever, here, see what you, I don't care." Just that feeling. It was not a vibrant, thriving place. They're selling old tablets from 8 years ago on the little Nook promotional thing or whatever. You're just like, this place is not going to stick around. There's just no way. And not that I care that much about retail shopping or giant corporations like Barnes and Noble, but still, you do get the feeling like everybody's getting their entertainment from other places. We're getting our stuff from other places. A lot of the stuff is it's just dying, you know? It's going to be gone, and it kind of does bum me out. Not not even so much just because of that specifically. Like, I'm not going to be weeping for Old Navy, but it just feels like an era of humanity is coming to a close.
And
And
it's not headed to an exciting thing, you
I
know?
think that is, yes, I think that is the problem, is that the dream of the future now seems like a bad one, or at least not one that I'm very excited about. I'm going to get all of my clothing off of Amazon from weird all consonant Chinese companies that are around for a month and then disappear. Like, that's the experience. All the books are just ebooks, or stop reading, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, part of me right now wants to derail this conversation because I don't just wanna be another negativity thing. But some of it is very real. So,
Yeah.
part of this week of me trying to relax was me just trying to draw a little bit and experiment with some stuff and whatever. So I went and got some ink stuff, some dip pens and whatever, because I've been wanting to mess around with that for a while. And uh, whatever. The story's not that interesting, but I had to do this ruled line, just a line with ink.
Yeah.
I mean, you with a pencil, you just bust out a ruler and make a line. It's not a big deal. But with a ink pen, or with a dip thing,
Yeah.
you have to have. You don't have to have, but you get this little raised ruler thing, and then you run it across whatever. And I was like, oh, I should grab my ruling pen. It's this old school cool thing. Okay, I put it away already, but it's got these like two metal prongs and this little screw thing, and you fill it up with ink, and then it's really cool. I remember getting it years ago and being very excited about it because it's just this old school tool. It's just a cool thing, and I used to always get excited about old school stuff, traditional things, and I even for some of my paintings, I've filled it up with oil paint, and then you can use it like a pen, and it's crazy. And, it's not a very common thing, but I remember being very excited to get it and to learn more about it and to use it in the future. So, I dust it off and bring it out I haven't even seen it in years, and I'm filling it up with ink, and I go to use it, and all I feel is frustration. This is something that I would've
Yeah.
geeked out over a couple years ago, and I'm just 3, 4 years ago, and now I'm just getting really frustrated, like, just annoyed with the whole thing. I'm like, "Just work, just fucking work. Why do you suck so much? Well, why do I even need to make a line on paper? Like, this is stupid." Like, I was just getting so angry at this thing. I could not see or feel the magic in it anymore. It was just
Yeah.
gone, and I'm just thinking, "No one cares about this anymore. No one loves this." They're I
That's such
It
a
would take me a
sad
while to
story.
fully. Yeah, it is, and it was a giant wake-up call of, "Okay, I need to figure out where my head is at, because clearly I'm not in the right space for it." Because this is something that would've brought me so much joy a couple years ago. I don't know if the problem is me, and I have gone so far from being able to focus you know, for that type of activity, or if the state of the world has really messed me up over this stuff. I mean, it has sucked so much joy out of what I do, which it feels weird for me to say because a month ago or even just a couple weeks ago, I'm super excited about all the YouTube stuff and all of that, and I still will be. I'll get back to
Yeah.
that, but I don't know. I gotta say, a couple years into this AI shit, uh, at the beginning, it's all new, and we're all sort of freaking out, especially the artists, whatever. I
Yeah.
can say a couple years in, it's heavy. It messes with your head. I
Yeah.
hope that we get out of it. I hope that there's some sort of conclusion, but it just feels heavy and sickening and just toxic to the whole creative
Yeah.
process. And I don't really want to be the I want to believe that there's ways around it. There are different avenues to take, and I will die on that hill, if I have to, because I don't plan on doing anything else with my life other than creating stuff. Um, but yeah, like it is affecting me, and it's. I guess this week the issue has been: is it the world or is it me, or is it both? And I don't have the answer.
I think that the answer is very likely both. I mean, you're talking about how when things are going great or you're just on a bit of an emotional high, everything feels great and you're not really thinking about it. And then when you're in a bit of a slump, it's like, oh, well, the world sucks. And is that just me feeling down? But I think that both of those things are completely valid and honest. When things are going well and you're excited, you do tend to just feel really good. It's like if you're in a relationship that's kind of up and down and everybody's in a good mood and you're maybe out doing something really fun, like, yeah, in that moment, it's great. But if there are real problems, they tend to show up outside of those moments where you're just kind of quietly having to go through life and there's a little bit of friction or whatever. I think that those thoughts of AI in the art world and the way people, what people care about is changing, and generally feels like it's trending in the wrong direction where attention spans are shrinking and we're just gravitating towards shallower content that's not deep or rewarding. I think that is the case. I think it is worth giving those feelings some respect and some validity. I do. There was a couple things that I thought about with this though. One, I thought about I rode past a record store that seemingly is doing well, and apparently record stores are generally doing very well. There's
I well, okay, just this past week, I went into Park Avenue CD store, if you remember that, where we saw Porcupine Tree,
mm,
and it. I've gone in there about 3 times in the last 2 months, and it is so packed that I just want to leave because I can't. Like, there's
right.
just so many people. It's not enjoyable. That's how well it's doing.
Right.
Continue.
So just that brings me some comfort because a record store records do not need to exist. There is nothing that they do that is better than what we can replicate digitally. I know people will argue they are wrong. Objectively, they don't need to be a thing, but they are, and people love them. And there's all the way from the consumers who are going out of their way to go to a physical store and go through all the little rows of records and try and find exactly what they're looking for, up to the stores themselves, the whole pipeline, shipping, bands, companies printing records, which is an annoying thing to do, and they're having to ship them out and carry inventory. None of that needs to be a thing. But a lot of people have just decided we're going to do this because we want to, because we like music and we want to have physical things to put in your hands. We want to bring about intentionality. I don't just want to put on Lo-Fi Girl for 12 hours again every day and listen to the modern equivalent of elevator music, which I do. No, no disrespect to lo-fi, but it is garbage. People choose to listen to
It,
real music with intention. And that's just something that everyone landed on. In the music world, so many people love music for very good reasons, and they just collectively said, Spotify sucks. All this stuff sucks. Let's just go ahead and act like this is what we need to do. And they do it, and it's kind of amazing. And I look at comic book stores that seem to be doing pretty well. I can't necessarily speak to their financials, but there's a lot of them around, and they seem to have a lot of traffic and everything. People seem to really like that. Barnes and Nobles is not doing well. Barnes and Noble is not doing well, but Powell's, the independent bookstore in the city, is like you described. It is actually not a fun place to go on a weekend because it is too packed. There are too many people shopping for books. I mean, there it does feel like humans have reacted to some of these things, and
yeah.
I don't think we've really got it all figured out yet. I think there still needs to be a lot more reacting, especially around digital things like phones and just our actual tech usage. But there is some of it, and it is encouraging. It kind of shows you that it can happen. It is not just a fated thing where everything enshittifies off to infinity, where we live in this brain rot dystopia. You can go to a record store, you can go to a bookstore. They exist. People like it.
Okay. Yeah, I can. I'll give you that because I think we need to latch onto something positive. I mean, it's not that I don't feel alone in this. I feel like so many people feel this way. And
Right.
this isn't exactly a new conversation. Okay, I got something. Um, you know how, throughout the years there's all these trending topics of, oh, you know what you got to do right now to be successful? You got to invest in NFTs or Bitcoin or whatever. Like there's always some new thing
Yeah.
to do that will make you successful. Well, I have the next one.
Okay,
It
cool.
occurred to me today. Yeah.
You heard
The
it here.
thing that you need to do is, or I think the people, this is my prediction. The people that we will be successful hold on, let me try again. I totally butchered
This
that.
feels important, like you're really building up to a big revelation. So yeah,
Uh,
take a moment.
it's half a joke and whatever. The people who will be successful in the future are the people who develop the skills to do things that do not matter anymore.
Okay.
Just like the people that are printing all the vinyls that are selling out in stores, they're banking on it. Vinyls don't matter anymore, but they're doing it. People like it. And the ability to make art, even when it does not matter at all anymore, people still want it. It just doesn't matter anymore. I think those people, it'll work out.
Okay. I like that a lot, and I think you're saying it in a very kind of spicy way. But I do want to. Sorry, can you hear that?
I just put my ear up to the microphone.
Smart. There's like a
No, I can't hear
gang.
it.
There's like a gang of scooter riders that rides through our neighborhood every once in a while. They're like very loud and aggressive, like Hell's Angels, but they're on like little tiny scooters. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, that's what's happening right now. It's distracting. Sorry.
I can't hear.
Um, okay. I hear what I agree with, like the sentiment, like doing things that don't matter, but I think it's worth pointing out that records don't need to exist, but they do matter a lot because music does not, it doesn't feed people, it doesn't do anything material. It is just sounds coming out of a speaker or out of an instrument. The only thing that makes any of that matter is somebody doing it and wanting to do it, deriving something from doing it, whether it's from the act itself or from the reaction of other people. And then the people on the other end of it listening to it and deriving some kind of enjoyment or meaning out of that. Like that is the thing that actually matters about music. If you make sounds and you don't get anything out of it, and those sounds fall on someone's ears and they don't get anything out of it, it's worthless. It's just nothing. So the fact that a record requires intention, it costs money, it is annoying, but people want that because it means that you have to go pull a record out and put it on and sit and listen and flip it over when it's time to flip it. I mean, the intention is the point, and it injects more meaning into music, which is exactly the opposite of what Spotify does, where it's just AI generated cheapest to stream playlist garbage that it always wants to play. Like it's watering down music, it's taking away the intention, it's just filling the air with distracting noise. That is the opposite of what the record is doing. So it does matter a lot. It's just
Well,
not from a technical perspective.
I'll probably miss some of the points you just made when I say this, but I could not agree more. And when I say a music or art doesn't matter anymore, it's a certain aspect of it that I'm referring to. Because clearly, I don't actually believe that it doesn't matter. That's all I do. I don't do anything else. I don't want to do anything else.
Right.
I don't care about money. I don't care about cool cars or whatever. I care about creating things because it's just what matters to me in life.
Yeah.
And it still matters to me. But the feeling of it being needed is gone. It's hard to explain, but music has always,
Yeah.
I mean, even the fact that Spotify is such the moneymaker that it is, it's showing you music, whether it's trash or its playlists are trash or the AI whatever is trash. It's still a business built on music, and technically speaking, yeah, music doesn't matter, but it does matter because everybody loves it and needs it. But the feeling of as the musician that your music is no longer needed, that has shifted dramatically over the last even just 5 years, but the last 15 years.
Oh.
I don't know if it's that there's so much of it. The means of creating it are so much easier now. The taste levels have just plummeted to where people will listen to hours and hours and hours of, lo-fi chill, nothing wrong with that. Um, uh, but just people don't care so much about the people writing it. They don't care about the skills involved so much. The musicians who have trained in it sure do, but the general public, the the hunger for it is gone. Everybody's stuffed, you know. Everyone's getting fed this stuff nonstop, and so the the demand for it is
Yep.
extremely low compared to what it was, where, back in the day, your social group demanded it, or not demanded it, your social group asked you for it and
Yeah.
wanted it, and if you had a guitar, they would want you to play it because they haven't heard someone play music or whatever. But nowadays, no one gives a shit. You just throw on Spotify, whatever, and
Yeah.
like, you just don't care about those things anymore. So the only people doing it are the people who have the skill to do something that, like, that just isn't needed anymore. And
Yep.
so it's subtle or weird or complicated or whatever, but does any of that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think we're kind of saying the same thing. I mean, I I remember making CDs for other people to show them music, and you'd put 50 songs on there and they would listen to 50 songs, and they would give you a CD with 50 songs and you listen to 50 songs. Like, it was deeply ingrained in the social structure for a lot of people. It was yeah, it's but again, the point here is that record stores are exist and are doing really well. Like, it's not gone. Then in some ways, parts of it are doing better. I mean, it had to go full circle. Records went away and then they came back. They never completely disappeared, but it's been a resurgence because now we realize that, oh, we do care about this. And we are going to go out of our way and do annoying things to make it happen. And I hope that we are there for other things too, or we will be there soon. I mean, a lot of physical spaces are going away. The things that you used to go do, go shopping, try on clothes, that's going away. And I think something will come back to replace it. I mean, I just started going to this co-working space, and I don't need to. I can work from home. I have an office, but I pay money and I go there because I want to, and I want to be around other people who are in a similar mindset. And it's great. They do a really good job. And now the place is booked out and you can't get a membership because it's full, because a lot of people just want to do that. So I think there's some evidence of figuring some of this stuff out.
Yeah, good.
People want art. I mean, it's gonna it's going to be a little rocky, but I don't
Yeah.
want to hang a piece of AI art in my house, and I never ever will. And some people are going to be fine with that, but they weren't going to buy your art anyway.
I yeah. Um I guess what I'm struggling to define for myself. I mean, everything you're saying I agree with and feel the same way. But the motivation for improving at art has shifted.
Yeah.
I mean and I don't even really know why exactly, because I know people still want art, right? People still like human made things and all that stuff. And the wonderful reception to my YouTube stuff, what people are enjoying what I do,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And I'll be excited about that again in a week or whatever. But the the motivation to improve at art has shifted, and I'm struggling to figure out exactly why. It's not as simple as just the introduction of AI. It's I don't know, it's like less wholesome now. There's and I don't just want to blame the world. I'm just trying to figure out why it is that I feel this way. Why do I
Yeah.
feel like it's not important to improve anymore? Or why do I feel like there's just no point? to improve. I don't know. That
Are you depressed?
yeah,
Because
clearly.
okay, because that
Yeah.
sounds like just very straightforward depression.
Well, artistic depression, I guess, if I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out why, and maybe it isn't a logical thing. Maybe there isn't, maybe this isn't a problem to solve. This is just I need to sleep better or whatever, like we talked about last week.
Yeah.
And of course those are factors, but this is a feeling that I have had for over the course of two years ever since AI was introduced.
Yeah.
It's the it's like the it's just not the same anymore. It's been my relationship with art and the world of art and how wholesome it used to feel feels disgusting now. And the only way I can feel really good about it is when I totally block myself off from the rest of the world and create my own environment where I can pretend everything's the way that it used to be. And maybe that's the answer, is to just isolate myself and create my own bubble where things are wholesome again. I don't know.
Well, but okay. I have a couple feelings on this,
Hit me.
but first off, what do you mean by the world? When you say you isolate yourself from the rest of the world, what what rest of the world are we talking about?
I think the
TikTok? Your
no no the
friends? YouTube? I
no
mean,
the artist the social platforms for art, I think, maybe? Or just
okay.
the general hold on, give me a second. All the places online that host art stuff. One of my favorite places, Gurney Journey, James Gurney's blog. Um, Even he talks about how scared he is and everything. And then just everywhere you go, every artist you see, they're either bitching about how nothing's working online, which is exactly what I'm doing right now, but it just everyone what used to be so wholesome and people just sharing what they're working on and their art and how much they love it now is filled with arguments and conflict and people attacking
Yeah.
stuff or people bitching about how they're not doing well or whatever. And like it has become more toxic. It's I don't know, just things seem to have lost value. Nothing. Maybe I'm just depressed. Maybe I should just shut up. I wonder, is this just me or I don't
I
know.
think I think the answer is both. 100% is both. I think you do need to sleep better. You do need to work on all the stuff that you got to work on. That's part of it. 100%.
Very
Especially
much.
a big piece of evidence for that is the cyclical nature of this, where like, oh, I'm on top of the world, everything's amazing, and then oh, I feel bad, and that's part of what's happening. But what you're saying again, I think also has a lot of validity too. It is both, but I think what you're describing is very, very simple, and it is that the web ate the world, and then the web died, and it's in its death throes right now. You're talking
Yeah.
about a bunch of communities that moved online. It's not a group of people that you're meeting up with once a month and like hanging out with, and it's online. It's a blog with a bunch of people commenting. I mean, politics and internet have morphed together. I mean, culture and internet has morphed together. The web ate all of it. Everything's on the web, and the web is this disgusting cesspool that is just like in its death rattle. I mean, it's awful, but it's just the web. And I don't really know where we're going to land on all of this stuff, but that's all that's happening. Everybody hates each other and hates everything, and everything has become thoroughly and shitified because the web died.
Okay, that is a wonderful point, and I appreciate that because it's not just artists; it is everyone. And
Yeah,
so
like
just because it
it's
affects,
taken
m-
down by this. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good point. I appreciate that.
Here's the other thing that was a pretty important thought today, and it's not like totally novel, but I just really felt like it is very important to me in the things that I do. Not everything everywhere, but I really want to dedicate a lot of my own energy and attention to trying to be part of the resistance to that. I want to contribute to the solar punk future, to working against enshittification and all of this garbage. Like, you can crank
Me
out
too.
AI crap all day. Maybe if you get really good at playing the algorithms and spamming it enough, you can squeeze out money from people. But gross, that's just part of the rot. Doing something that is intentional, that is closer to what a record store is doing versus what Spotify is doing. Like, that is just something I really, really care about. And I want to be part of that. And that is something meaningful to me. Like, trying to do the things that feel meaningful, that put humans at the center of it and are empowering and deep and valuable and cut against the brain rot. That's what I want to do. And
That
I
is
get meaning just from that.
that's exactly how I felt and what I was trying to do out of, over the last couple months with the YouTube videos is that's
And
literally
you
how I felt is I'm doing just that. And I think what I'm experiencing right now is just the realization that, oh yeah, it's hard. It's hard, it's hard to stay at that level of, hey guys, there's hope. Right now I feel like, hey, there's no hope and it's pointless. But that is the mission. The mission is
yeah.
defeat the empire or defeat the bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like it's
Not
worth mentioning that it was working pretty well. You, for the
no, yeah,
few months of given very intense effort you put in, you did see a lot happen.
yeah, I know, I know.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, yeah. No, I don't know.
Implies that it's not hopeless. I think you need to sleep. I think we might be kind of coming down to that. That
I know, I know.
maybe you just feel
But,
old
I'm
fashioned
not even,
depressed.
like I wouldn't even describe this as, you know, intense depression. I'm not moping around
No,
everywhere.
I
It's
get it. I
just
get
this
it.
general feeling that just kinda sucks, and I would like to make it better, and I think being reminded that that is indeed we are clearly defining that is the mission.
Yeah.
We are going to make the world a better place, God damn it, or
Yeah.
else. Because it just sucks right now. And so, yeah, discussing this is a
Yeah.
nice thing. Okay. I wrote down real quick. I started I wanted to state on the podcast that I'm deleting a couple apps off my phone
Okay.
officially for the month of August. And I'm just gonna say it here, so I'll make sure to do it. There will be no Instagram, no YouTube, and no YouTube Studio, and no Discord on my phone for the month of August. And I was
Okay.
gonna try to rope you into doing something too, so I stick to that. But
What is
um,
I'm gonna say with a bit of smugness that there's not a whole lot on my phone. There's no browser of any kind.
well, I mean,
There's
you don't have to get rid of anything on your phone. I'm just wondering, is there something in your life that is making your life more enshittified? Like, are you? I think you said you weren't checking Reddit or whatever. Is there something that you can get rid of for the month of August to see if your life improves?
I think the biggest source of agony right now is YouTube for sure. I have really developed this habit of starting the day pretty solidly and going out somewhere and working and everything. But then usually I come home, I put together lunch, and then I just have the headphones on and YouTube. And then I eat lunch and watch YouTube. And then it's like I can never quite get back after that, where I
Yeah.
go back to work, but I'm like, maybe I'll take a break and watch some more YouTube or have a video going in the background, or even if I don't, it's just like my brain gets a little bit messed up. So I'm not I can't delete YouTube off of the internet, unfortunately. So
But
I'm
you
not
can say
exact
you won't watch it.
Yeah,
You'll have to.
but I want to keep checking your channel to see if it's
I'll let you know if
exploded.
something's
Okay.
it's oh, no, my channel's dead now. It's dead. The, my first video that just kept rising and rising, it's dead. I'm sure that has nothing to do with my depression, but it is dead. Uh, it just
Okay.
it stopped. It flatlined. Everything is flatlined on my channel, so you don't need to check my channel if you're
Okay.
using that as an excuse. I don't
Okay.
even need to check my channel until I upload something new, and even then, I probably don't need to check it.
All right.
Um,
Well, that's encouraging. Or
no.
not encouraging. It removes an excuse, I guess. All right, so maybe I'm committing to no YouTube for August at all. That
Are
seems
you or
like a
are you
lot.
not? I know it's scary, right? This shouldn't be scary. We grew up with no, actually, no, we had YouTube growing up, but
Yeah.
or what about just no YouTube in that evening slot? Something, you know.
Yeah, maybe I can't no YouTube until I'm done with work for the day. It can't be inside that window.
Okay. So state that one more time confidently.
Okay. For me, no YouTube until the workday is finished. It can't blend in with work. So
For the month of August.
for the month of August, yeah. Okay. I think that'll
Okay.
that'll work.
All right. For next week, I'm using one more week to relax, get into the drawing, work on stuff, whatever, and then I will jump back into my figure eight world stuff. I will be
Cool.
back next week. That's the plan. So I got one more week of sort of relaxing, playing around with stuff,
Yeah.
and then it's back to work. And we can talk about deadlines or something next week, I guess. Or
Okay. I'm good
decide
with
on
that.
another.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go ahead and kick off make a deadline until next week.
Yeah. And I guess the goal going forward is to stop thinking about how shitty the world is and start thinking about ways to make it less horrible.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty solid plan. What that looks like in practice, we'll see, but we'll start here.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. Go make the world a less shitified place.